the story of the red cat. Friends, I welcome everyone to the channel with I'm not a coward, but I'm afraid. In today's video, we will play shaft guns together with you, but not in a completely standard way, because today we have a serial fire mode next in line. Well, let's probably read a short description quickly. An assault modification that allows you to enter fire on the aircraft in quick series of 3 shots, while the energy reserve is only enough for 1 turn, that is, for the shaft. It is primarily designed to play just the same from a shot on the V-Kid, not with sniper mode, but with shots that we can do together, with you without entering sniper mode. Which of this it will turn out soon, and we will find out therefore. Be sure to keep the video active in the form of a finger up. Write in the comments about this device as you like it. How often do you use the shaft cannon in the game Tanks Online? It will be interesting to read your reviews about this device. I wish you all a pleasant viewing. See you on the battlefields. I think you've heard a lot of amazing stories about cats. Here's another one for you. Next door to us in our house lived a lonely young teacher who had a cat, nicknamed Red for its bright color. All day long she disappeared at work, and the cat, left to himself, foraged on his own. Then he will ambush a bird under the roof, then he will catch a mouse in the barn, and most often he will climb into our window and steal part of an already poor dinner from the kitchen. When he became wild, he became especially arrogant and cunning, so that we never managed to catch him in the act. When in the spring, due to the stuffiness, we decided to move to the veranda for the night. It turned out that it was absolutely impossible to sleep there because of the nightly cat concerts of the redhead. Closer to summer, our patience ran out, and we decided to get rid of the restless neighbor. Having lured the cautious cat with a piece of fish, the mother put it in a bag, put it in a basket, and took it by tram 10 stops from our house to the Haymarket to the fish rows. After releasing the redhead in this paradise place, the mother went shopping with a light heart. The first person she saw when she returned home on the tram was a redhead. Marveling at his instincts, the mother nevertheless did not give up her idea. However, this time it turned out to be very difficult to catch a cat. Sensing something was wrong, Red avoided all our traps. Nevertheless, people turned out to be more cunning. A few days later, with great difficulty, having caught the cautious cat, the mother put it back in the bag. This time her way lay to a fishing village on the banks of the Volga River, 15 kilometers from our house. After traveling part of the way by tram, another part by hitchhiking, the mother walked the rest of the way and released the ill-fated cat on the banks of the Volga, right next to the drying nets, from which there was an acrid, fishy smell. This time our hopes were fulfilled. The redhead did not return that day, the next day, or a month later. The teacher was not too sad about the loss, and we were finally able to breathe freely. We could live all summer with the windows open without hiding food supplies from the red-haired thief under buckets and cast iron pans. Summer passed, and with the first frosts, the red robber reappeared in our yard. His coat was glossy. His round sides and contented muzzle eloquently told us about his well-fed life in a fishing village. What made the redhead return to a hungry life in our yard? How did he manage to find his way? To this day, I do not know the answer to these questions that these amazing animals sometimes ask us. The second story is about a puppy. As far as I can remember, all kinds of animals have always lived in our family next to people. Cats, dogs, hedgehogs, birds. But there was one dog among them that I want to tell you about in particular, arriving with a military girl. At first, we settled in a village house in a village not far from the missile range, where the girl was doing military service. The surrounding steppe was full of all kinds of game, saigas, wolves, raccoons, hares, various birds. The girl was an avid hunter and soon began to need a good hunting dog. She took puppies several times, but later they turned out to be unsuitable for hunting. We had to give them to local residents or farmers in the village. One day, the girl returned from a short business trip with a big-headed red puppy of a purebred American hound. The dog was named Jack, and from the very first days, he somehow immediately came to court. A lot of funny stories and adventures have been associated with this wonderful dog, and I want to tell you some of them. When Jack grew up, the girl began to take him hunting hares with her. Having learned how to bring down dead hares, Jack soon began hunting them on his own. He used to get a hare in the steppe in winter and drag its frozen carcass to the yard. He climbs into the kennel and, grabbing the prey with his teeth across the long body, tries to pull it in after him, but it wasn't there. A frozen carcass does not climb across the entrance no matter how hard you try. I had to help Jack out. If Jack was unlucky with hares, he had other sources of food. Once every few days, a bread van would arrive in the village. This bread was unusually fragrant, with a ruddy crust, with an influx along the edge of the mold, and with a mandatory addition for strict accuracy. A huge queue was forming for the van. The makeovers usually went to the children, who ate them without leaving the van. It was here that our Jack was spinning, begging for pieces of bread, and the children were happy to share with the big, good-natured dog. There was even a completely anecdotal case. When I saw that Jack returned carrying something in his mouth, I went out to look at his prey. When I saw that he had brought a rather large piece of meat,